Hello and thank you for calling the Auto Glass Helpline. Today we are going to do a drag specific video. We are using our WRD Orange Bat here, and I don't know if you can see it, but you can see there's a haze on the glass right here, not right here. This is a smoker's vehicle, so you want to make sure you clean this off of the glass before you stick your cup, because this stuff acts like a super lubricant. And if you hit any thick spots with your glue, your bat's going to slide. There's just no way around it. So today we're going to do a drag specific video, like I said, showing the use of this. This is a drag, and you're going to use it similar to a drag on a fishing reel, if you've ever been fishing, in order to control the amount of tension that is on your line here as it's being loaded onto your spool, the side that you're cutting on. So if you are using the U-lock specifically, and you lock this in here and you go to cut, as you cut you can control the amount of tension on this line that's being loaded onto your spool, and that is what causes your line to snap on the spool here occasionally. If you've been using this tool for any amount of time, occasionally you'll be cutting out and you'll hear a loud crack, and it turns out that your line broke on your spool. That's because the line that's being loaded onto there is basically being loaded on there at a high tension, and the line cannot sustain that over time. So we use the drag in order to control that tension. So I'm going to pull that off and put that there, and drop our drag in here. And we are simply going to use our hand to control how much tension is on this line. So as we cut here, this should start to slide a little bit. You can see that this spool is spinning, and that tends to be a problem when you're trying to cut the windshield out, which is where the U-lock comes in. And where the drag comes in is controlling the amount of tension on that line. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either hold your drill here and hold your drag like so, or you can use your hand like so and control that tension. And you're just going to add a little bit to it and allow it to continue to slide, but you're going to give it a little bit of tension so it continues to cut as well. You don't want to stop it from cutting. You just want to relieve a little bit of the amount of tension that's on this line as it's loaded. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go, and you can see it's spinning just a little bit, not a big deal. Then once you get up to this corner, it'll definitely start to spin more, like so, and then just grab a hold of it, give it a little bit of a squeeze, but allow it to slip, because you want to use that kind of bandsaw motion in order to allow it to continue cutting. And then don't go past, or at least too far past, your optimal cutting angle, because you will snap the line there. I'm going to switch sides now and basically do the exact same thing. This one you can actually hold here instead of having to flip this around. Unless you're left-handed. If you're left-handed, you can do it the other way. So same thing. You can see it spinning here. We're not really cutting, so we're going to add a little bit of tension here. We're going to add a little bit of grip to the drag. And we're allowing it to slip, but we're also allowing this to continue to cut. And as we're getting tight, we're going to stop right there, because we are now outside our optimal cutting angle. And switch sides. Pop that loose, switch over here, and you can hear the pump running in the background off and on, because, again, not sure if you can see it, but there's an old visor here that somebody put on, and the tint just faded out of it. So we've got a little bit of a break in our seal at the edge of that film, so put our guards back in place here, and we're going to finish our top cut first as per our normal protocol. And same thing, we're going to drop our drag in here, get your fingers over the top of it, and we're going to hold this up so it does not cut into our headliner. You see I'm not adding any tension to this, and it's cutting just fine right now. And we'll just let that spin, and we'll stop right there. And I'm gonna move over to this side and then cut across our bottom. Again, you can see us starting to spin here. We're cutting real slow, so we're just gonna add a little bit of a grip to it. Allow that to cut through the overlap in the glue. And you can see I'm still allowing this to slip a little bit, but not so much that I stop cutting. So I'll move that over so we get around our corner. And same thing, we're gonna let this continue to slip. Let that slide by. And we're gonna flip this and then grab like we did on the other side and start our cut up the side here. And you can see I'm giving this just enough grip to let it cut, but it's still allowing it to slip. Now, if you find yourself overloaded on one spool or the other, you can simply switch sides and drag that line back through before you continue your cut. That way you don't overload the spool. One thing you definitely do not want to do is you do not want to overload your spool to where your line overtakes this edge right here, because what will happen is your line will actually get sucked up underneath here. It'll push the body of the bat up out of the way, and you'll wind up wrapping your line up around the top of your spool here, and you can break the body, you can damage the spool, you can damage the mechanism inside, and you don't want to do that. So when you start getting close, just switch sides, drag your line back over to the other side, and then switch and go back to your cut. And just like usual, our corners are a little bit tighter, so we're going to let that continue to slip through our fingers, but we're going to keep enough of a grip on it to allow us to continue to cut. Like so. And just like that, we are cut through. Our line is still intact. We didn't overload our spools, so our line didn't snap on our spool either. So that is using your WRD drag to cut out a windshield that is thick glue, old glue. Anytime you're having a problem with super high tension on your line, and avoid snapping it on that spool like that. There is a learning curve to it, I'm not gonna lie. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and it takes a little bit of learning curve. I'm repeating myself again. It's gonna take you a little bit of time to know exactly how much tension you can allow to load on those spools. When I first started using this, I definitely still snapped my line on the spool just because I was allowing that tension to get too high. So, bit of a learning curve. If you grab one, don't get discouraged. It takes a little time, but this will extend the life of your line, especially when you have a heavily glued windshield and you don't have a bison that you can load P10 on, or you have a large windshield that you can't put enough P10 on your bat in order to get all the way around the windshield, like on some of those utility trucks. So again, that is the drag, an awesome little tool and a neat little addition to your box. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.